Hey, this is Rolf Carlsen, and here's my obligatory assignment number 1, didactical lesson design presentation. Here we go. Okay, so I teach a class of 22 students. They are 10th graders, 14 girls, 8 boys. I've been teaching them for 3 years now, so I know them quite well. They've been using their own computer for a year now. We use the computer for most writing and also to get information from the internet. They have got their own copy of the text as well. I would say their common reference levels are between A1 and B2. About half of the class are in the A area and the other one is in the B area. Some of them as low as B2. They hardly understand whole sentences. They need something else when reading this book. I'll show you that later on. Okay, the choice of text. The novel The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. A book that was recommended to me by a few colleagues when I said I had to choose a text. It is also mentioned in the Teaching and Learning English book from the curriculum. It's mentioned there because of the illustrations in the book. I'll show you some of that later on. I think there's a lot of good things in this book when it comes to learning English, both culture, language, well, everything in English. And I think there's a lot for the students to relate to in this book, which is important. The book is a bit long, it's 250-ish pages, but the writing is quite easy and, well, it's well written. Another reason why I chose this book is that, as I mentioned, quite a few of the students in my class struggle with reading. You can find this book online for free with the audiobook. And as you can see on the picture, there are two speed settings, faster and slower. So you can read together with the audiobook as well, because so you can see the illustrations, the text, they're all there. That's I can post a link in the Padlet because I really recommend that. And being that the book is online in a web browser, you can make the letters bigger for those who struggle with reading from a book. From the compendium Using Literature in English Language Education, these are 10 criteria you should keep in mind when picking text for use in the classroom. Reading a book like this, 250 pages, the text should be a compelling read with emotions, humorous, heartwarming. I think this novel has got a lot of that. And empathetic and appealing characters. You could see this. The text should offer gaps and opportunities to speculate on creative solutions to problems. This is something I want to work with in my class, to just stop and think, hey, the main character is in problem. What should we do? So Arnold, or a junior, is this guy in the beginning of the book, skinny guy with glasses, gets bullied at school, lives in an Indian reservation, in a family is quite poor. You can see a book bag, yeah, see this, the main character is quite focused on the poverty. A teacher at his school suggests that he transfer to a more, I don't know if you can say a white school, but it's a more typical Western world school. So a lot of the book is based around this topic. And it's quite useful when learning about culture, because the main character is really the author. It is a true story. The reasons for all the differences you can see here: how you dress, how you behave, how you speak, where you come from, all that. So he becomes another guy at the new school. His best friend and his tribe, they really dislike that he moves to another school. He meets new people, typical stereotypes: geek, popular girl, alpha dog who is also a bully. So it's a lot of typical everyday stuff for a teenager, whoever you are. So yeah. So what I would like to do with this book, a lot of reading at school, but in shorter, not like 4 hours at a time, but like 20 minutes at a time, all quiet in the classroom, and also a bit of homework, but not a lot. And discussions. I want them to express themselves all the time. Opinions, what do they think of the book, and also summarize what I have read until now. What do you think will happen next? Also, I want them to write down words, difficult words. What does this word mean? And also teach them to use a dictionary. And at the end, a presentation. From the knowledge promotion, I've chosen 3 aims after 10th grade from the part Culture, Society and Literature. The first one, discussion and elaboration of the way people live and how they socialize. I mentioned this from the book. Junior, he moves to another school. He's also poor. What are the challenges? How would you cope with changing schools? Stuff like that. Discussions in groups or together with the whole class. It's good learning. Explain features of history and geography in Great Britain and the USA. Well, I would combine reading this book with social studies, because geography and history are important factors before reading this book. What are Indians? Why do they live in reservations now? What's the history behind this? Where are they? So I would do some pre-reading in the social studies subject. Describe and reflect on the situation of indigenous people in English-speaking countries. Well, it goes without saying. Watch a documentary, use the internet. How are they doing now? Discussions, why things are the way they are. That's always important. Yeah. By reading this novel, I would like the students to increase the vocabulary. They would learn, hopefully, a whole lot of new words, expressions, sentence, etc. I think this book is quite an easy reading, so maybe this should spark an interest in further reading. And I want them, by using discussions, as I mentioned before, that they learn to express themselves better when it comes to opinions and understandings, summarize, stuff like that. And also, of course, learn about different cultures, the Indian reservations, etc., and the American society as a whole. I think I've used all these references in the slides, but I've also used them as inspiration and also as a help for structuring this task. So, all right. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.